This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
Next on the 5 o'clock report.
Today it's Tel Aviv, tomorrow it's New York.
I've been in the Situation Room with President Trump. He is really good. This is his finest moment.
We were trapped. We were done. Then the lady couldn't swim. She's floating on her back, and I'm holding on to her.
I have a fresh death threat today.
All kids are smart. They just need someone to believe in them.
Now, let's go to the newsroom.
Good afternoon and welcome to the broadcast. I'm Family Life News anchor Sarah Harnish. Flash flood warnings are popping in several counties in western and southern Pennsylvania. Half of the Keystone State is under a flood watch at this hour with up to 4 inches of rain expected in some spots. Kevin lays it out in a few minutes. President Trump left the G7 in Canada early and spent the day huddled with his national security team back in Washington, D.C. as the war between Israel and Iran escalates.
Israel has unleashed a shock and awe campaign, the likes of which Iran has never experienced.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is ready to involve U.S. troops.
We have a small opportunity here to go in and finish this and set that nuclear program back years. And I think we need to do whatever we can again to support the Israelis.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is warning the world Iran has no moral line.
Today it's Tel Aviv, tomorrow it's New York. I understand America first. I don't understand America dead. That's what these people want.
Will America enter the war? KT McFarland was a former deputy national security advisor for Donald Trump. She says the president won't move a second before he needs to.
I've been in the Situation Room with President Trump where he's had to make decisions like this. He is really good. This is his finest moment. He's cool. He gathers intelligence. He doesn't get the yips. He finds out from his military leaders, his diplomatic leaders, his intelligence leaders, what are his options, and then he probably thinks of 2 or 3 other options that nobody else has thought of.
Israel claims to have killed Iran's top military commander and taken out a third of Tehran's missile launchers. 1 million Israelis spent the night last night in underground bomb shelters. An appeals court will hear arguments today over the Trump administration's deployment of the National Guard to Los Angeles to quell rioters who were protesting ICE raids. Legal analyst Jessica Levinson.
The court will be looking at the part of the statute that requires that orders be issued through the governor, whether or not that was satisfied or if there was a problem with how the Trump administration actually issued these orders.
Attorney Mahek Cook.
You have ICE that's being completely overrun. So what President Trump did as the commander-in-chief under his Article 2 powers was send in the National Guard as a defensive move.
President Trump is adamant without the National Guard, L.A. would have burned to the ground. The man accused in those politically motivated shootings in Minnesota could get the death penalty if convicted. 57-year-old Vance Belter is charged with shooting 2 state lawmakers and their spouses over the weekend near Minneapolis.
His crimes are the stuff of nightmares. Belter stalked his victims like prey. This was a political assassination.
He was captured after the largest manhunt in Minnesota state history. The death toll is up to 6 from severe flooding in West Virginia. The entire state is under a flood watch with more rain on the way tonight. Van Clark got caught in floodwater when his apartment building collapsed.
We were trapped. We were done. The water goes right down below our neck. Then the lady couldn't swim. She's floating on her back, and I'm holding on to her, making sure she doesn't go under.
Casey Gilbert is doing relief work with United Way.
It's been great to see people wanting to help out, wanting to give so freely. And I'm sure there will be more needs in the next few days.
President Trump has suggested he'll likely extend the deadline for TikTok's order to sell the video sharing app. Trump signed an order in early April to keep TikTok running for another 75 days. Now he's indicating he may give the company even more time. A baby boy has been delivered in the state of Georgia by a mom who's brain dead. Adriana Smith has been kept alive since February because of Georgia's abortion laws, which bans most abortions after cardiac activity is detected at about 6 weeks into the pregnancy. Smith was 8 weeks along.
He's in the NIC unit. He's about 1 pound, 13 ounces. And he's expected to be okay. He's just fighting. We just want prayers for him.
Grandma April Newkirk says his birth is bittersweet. Her daughter suffered blood clots in the brain 4 months ago at 31 years old and was taken off life support this weekend after baby Chase arrived. Newkirk says the birth and death are hard.
I shouldn't be burying my daughter. My daughter should bury me. She had a lot to give. So I'm just trying to hold it together right now.
A new study shows how churches have rebounded in the U.S. since COVID. According to the EPIC project, the Exploring the Pandemic Impact on Congregations project, 21% of regular churchgoers have increased their attendance since 2020, the year COVID-19 struck. 38% of current church attenders joined a congregation in the past 5 years. And a major food manufacturer is ditching dyes. CBS's Michael Wallace.
The maker of Heinz ketchup, Kraft macaroni and cheese, Jell-O, and Kool-Aid says it will eliminate all artificial colors, including red number 40 and blue number 1 by the end of 2027. In April, Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said he wanted petroleum-based dyes removed from all food by the end of next year. He believes they lead to chronic disease.
They want to eat petroleum. They ought to add it themselves at home. But they shouldn't be feeding it to the rest of us.
Still to come on the 5 o'clock report, a death threat on a Republican lawmaker in New York. John Fetterman weighs in on Iran, and Kias and Hyundai still being stolen in Western New York, but an unlikely ally steps in. Those stories after weather.
I'm Kevin Williams, and good evening. Here's your Family Life regional weather forecast. Across Pennsylvania, rather cloudy, clammy. A couple of more showers and thunderstorms on saturated soil, meaning a very soggy story. Farther north across New York State tonight, mostly cloudy, just a stray shower. Low temps generally 60s. Tomorrow, Thursday, warm, humid, variably cloudy. A couple of showers and thunderstorms around, with high temperatures primarily in the 80s.
Thank you, Kevin. Checking the stories, making news where you live across New York and Pennsylvania. The Keystone State is lit up in green and red flood warnings and watches at this hour. Areas near Altoona and Butler in the bullseye as several inches of rain fall. WTAJ meteorologist Caitlin Sheehan in Altoona.
We are under a moderate risk, which is a level 3 out of 4. It is on the higher scale as far as that flash flood probability. And again, it's going to be multiple instances where we can see this occurring in our south central Pennsylvania areas as well as through the center of the state.
40 of the state's 67 counties have flood watches through the evening. Days after a lawmaker and her husband were assassinated in Minnesota, a New York lawmaker says he's been receiving death threats too.
As we speak right now, I have sheriff's deputies in front of my house. I have a fresh death threat today.
It's not the first time there's been a threat to Representative Nick Langworthy's life. He says you don't solve problems with assassinations.
In this country, we settle our political differences between each other through debate and words and elections.
Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman is weighing in on the Israeli war with Iran. He thinks it's a good idea to take out Iran's supreme leader.
100%. Yeah, I think they should have targeted him. Absolutely taken him out. I think the way Israel operates, they just take out the leadership just like they did with Hezbollah. And they've already done that with the Iranian leadership.
And Israel, he says, is justified in attacking Iran. The Niagara County Sheriff's Office spent the morning handing out steering wheel lock devices to owners of Hyundai and Kia vehicles. Thousands have been stolen the past couple of years because of viral TikTok challenges. AAA was on site and spoke with WBEN.
If you own a Kia or a Hyundai, some of them are the most stolen vehicles, and Kia and Hyundai have supplied these wheel locks, and they're free of charge, and we're so happy to be able to share this for auto theft prevention.
That event happening in Lockport today. Next at 5, hometown heroes with our own Mark Webster. Let's listen in.
An all-American way to connect people with the gospel. That's at the heart of an upcoming event in Pennsylvania. Welcome back to another edition of Hometown Heroes on Family Life. I'm Mark Webster, and this week's guest is Pastor Brant Fuller with New Beginnings Church of God in Meadville, getting ready to host their annual Ultimate Freedom event on Independence Day. He says what's now a big event had humble beginnings, born of a basic community need.
Well, about 10 years ago, we just noticed there was really nothing for our community on July 4th. And so we looked at how we could kind of fill that void and just kind of started off our first year with a couple of food vendors, and we just thought we'll do some fireworks at the end of the night. But we wanted to do real fireworks, and a great memory that first year was we set the fireworks off and somebody yelled out, "Wow, they're actually real fireworks." I don't know if they thought we were going to do sparklers on the rooftop or what, but so it kind of just started out of a way to use a holiday to celebrate with the community, and then also use that as an opportunity to spread the gospel and let people know about the freedom we find in Christ, and just share a little love with the community.
And since that humble beginning there, it really has grown. What's it like now? What are we expecting this time around?
Yeah, so each year it's just kind of got bigger and bigger, and we initially started it on our church property. And then after about 3 years, it outgrown that. And so now we rent our local fairgrounds, which conveniently is just about a half a mile away from the church. And the last 3 or 4 years have probably been averaging 6,000 to 8,000 people throughout the day there. And every area has kind of grown. We have almost 20 food vendors, food trucks, and the kids area just keeps getting bigger every year, and live music. And it's just a great day. And we have a cruise in, lots of great cars to look at. And then usually just try to, weave in some of our pastors. We take 5 minutes from the stage just to welcome everybody and talk about why we do what we do. And it's just every year kind of keeps getting a little bit bigger. This year is our 10-year anniversary, so we're gonna celebrate big, and we've added some new things this year, and it's just going to be looking forward to a great day.
That's Pastor Brad Fuller with New Beginnings Church of God in Meadville, Pennsylvania, getting ready to host their annual Ultimate Freedom event on Independence Day. Please join us again next time as we search for your home, your town, your hero. It's Hometown Heroes on Family Life.
You can subscribe, listen to, and share Hometown Heroes and all of Family Life's original podcasts at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or at familylife.org.
If you're over 70 and a half, you can make a charitable donation directly from an IRA, but be careful not to get caught in a tax trap. Hi, I'm Rob West with a Faith and Finance Minute. A qualified charitable donation from an IRA can cut your tax bill and help out a charity, but don't run afoul of the IRS rules. For one thing, you're not allowed to make this kind of donation through a donor-advised fund or private foundation. It must go directly to the charity. Also, don't accept anything in return for the gift, not even a tote bag or a coffee mug, or you may create a taxable event. Finally, you're not allowed to take a deduction for a qualified charitable donation because this kind of donation already has a tax benefit. So be generous, but be careful. Get biblical answers to your financial questions in the Faith Fi community. Download Faith Fi, Faith and Finance in your app store or visit faithfi.com.
Coming up on the 5 o'clock report, a corner deli store owner in New York has a unique idea for kids struggling in school. We've got that story after weather.
I'm Kevin Williams, and good evening. Here's your Family Life regional weather forecast. The makings are there for some showers and thunderstorms. It's been that kind of spring, especially for our friends in Pennsylvania. What a soggy story it's been there. We've had watches and warnings for flooding in parts of western and south central Pennsylvania. The activity will be flourishing over the next several days as the air mass becomes further humidified and destabilized, meaning we'll all have to be on guard for a couple of showers and storms. Here's our call for tonight. Across Pennsylvania, rather cloudy, clammy. A couple of more showers and thunderstorms on saturated soil, meaning a very soggy story. Farther north across New York State tonight, mostly cloudy, just a stray shower, low temps generally 60s. Tomorrow, Thursday, warm, humid, variably cloudy, couple of showers and thunderstorms around, with high temperatures primarily in the 80s.
All right, Kevin, finally at 5 in Staten Island, a deli owner has been giving away free food to kids he's never met that make the honor roll. They're coming in by the dozens.
I told you I'd get honor roll. I got my honor roll.
Owner Wali El Sawi says it all started in 2020 with a 6th grader walking into his shop who checked in regularly as he worked to improve his grades.
I was so proud of him, man. I was like, yo, man, go ahead, grab whatever you want.
He's like, dream big.
Wally was originally paying out of pocket, but as the word spread, his brother started a GoFundMe page to buy food for each family. Wally was surprised at what the kids picked out.
For a whole month straight, All I see is kids. The first thing is eggs, 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 eggs.
The program, called Grades for Grabs, is giving kids a reason to believe in themselves.
All kids are smart. They just need someone to believe in them.
Making a difference with a meal. And that's the world that we live in for Tuesday, the 17th of June. I'm Sarah Harnish, and this is the 5 o'clock report on Family Life.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.